friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Julie. I'm a Canadian girly who loves to yap about books, and I'm reading for all the vibes, so if that's your vibe, then you're in the right place. Today we are doing my April wrap-up, my April 2026 wrap-up to be specific. And this month, honestly, it was a little bit mixed. I would say more books were more of a letdown than not. Ugh, and I haven't had a month like that in a long time, so I definitely can't wait to get into it and tell you why and what happened. But I did have a standout at the end of the month that kind of tidied everything up. So heading into May, we already are on a better book vibe, which is like great because, you know, as readers, we do not want to have a reading slump. We can't do it. We got to avoid it at all costs. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be okay. But let's get to it and let's chat about why I did and didn't like these books. Okay, so first up, we're going to talk about Hello Stranger by Katherine Center. And I'm gonna be so transparent and so brutally honest with you guys. I didn't love this. And I bought a lot of Katherine Center. If you're new here, you won't know this. But if you've been here before, you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I bought a bunch of Katherine Center books on Book Outlet thinking, oh, you know, she does contemporary romance. I will love it. I did not like this. I started out liking it, and it went really downhill really quickly. And truthfully, the concept was really neat. I just don't know if it was executed the way it should have or could have been. So let me tell you what it's about and you can understand what my problem is. So we follow Sadie, and she's got like a lot going on. She's got like life drama, boyfriend drama, family drama, work drama, whatever. She gets in an accident and now has this disease called face blindness. And basically she can no longer see faces, and she's an artist that does portraits. So you can see why that would be a conundrum, why that would be an issue. And that's all great and fine, but you know, she ends up trying to date this guy in her building, and then also this vet that she meets because of her dog. And honestly, the book was just sort of all over the place, and I didn't feel like it was very cohesive. I felt like we had about 5 or 6 different stories all merging into one, and it was trying to be all of these things all at the same time. There were points that like I thought were funny, like she was witty and the dialogue was okay, but like overall I really struggled to finish this. I truthfully, I think I gave it a 2.5. I'm not giving up on Katherine Center though. I think maybe it might have been just this book was just not my vibe. I just really, the face blindness was weird. I don't know, I just couldn't connect with that, and especially with like everything else going on in the book, it was too much. So hopefully I will give one of her other books a try and it won't be a complete no for me. Let me know if you've read any other Katherine Center books. Did you like this book? I'd love that for you if you did, but let me know in the comments if you did or didn't, or if you have any other recommendations, because I just didn't vibe with this one. Okay, the next book that I read is The Secret Book of Flora by Patti, Callahan, Henry. Now, this is a historical fiction, and this is my first time reading any Patti, Callahan, Henry books, and I would say overall, genuinely enjoyed it. Was it my most favorite historical fiction I've ever read in my life? No, but I enjoyed the story. I liked the premise. I liked it had a little bit almost of magical realism in there. I did find by the end it felt a little rushed, and it did change course a smidge, so I think that's why I rated it like a 3.5 out of 5, but overall did enjoy the story quite a bit. Basically, we follow 2 sisters during World War II, and one is a little bit older, the one is a little younger. They are in London, and they get sent to the countryside because it's safer for children there, so they end up staying at this house with this really lovely lady and her son, and as her mom, their mom, is in London, you know, serving for the country and doing her part there. And while they're there, you know, they create this little world that's their own, just the two of them, because she was trying to keep her little sister safe and her imagination alive and well during this like really rough time for them all. And basically what ends up happening is the little girl goes missing, and then years and years later, the older sister who works at a bookshop comes across this book from America that has the same name as the world that she created with her sister when many years ago when they were younger. So she obviously goes, oh my gosh, and now the mystery is like wide open, and now she goes, well, what if we can find Flora? Like, we have to find her. So the whole story kind of goes based off of that, and it goes between past and present for a little bit more in the future in London, and then back in the time of the war. And honestly, it was a great book. I just think, again, by the end, I felt like it kind of was like rushing to finish and sort of change course a smidge, but did enjoy it a lot and would definitely read another book by her. Okay, the next book I read was Expiration Dates by Rebecca Serle. I had really high hopes for this book because, one, it was just like a quick little read, which I love a quick little read sometimes. So I was hoping it was going to be almost like a popcorn book, just a quick little, just a little something just to, you know, read in a day or so. And I also really loved the concept of this book. I thought it was really interesting. And so going into it, I actually was quite excited, but I'm going to be so honest with you. This one also got a 2. It also, just like the Hello Stranger, I felt like it was trying to be like 5 different books in one, especially in such a short period of time. And I also feel like halfway through the book, it literally completely changed courses and became a completely different story. And so let me tell you about it really quickly. So basically we follow Daphne, and her whole life has been a little different than everyone else's. Every time she's about to get into a relationship, a magical piece of paper or some sort of note shows up to her with the name of the guy on it and how long the relationship will last. And this happens over and over and over again until she's 33 years old. She's living in LA, and, you know, she's got her guy best friend, and she gets a note that just says the guy's name, no date. So she thinks this is it. Like, this must be the love of my life. So again, really cool concept. I was like, oh, cute. That actually sounds really cool. It's like a little magical realism, a little romance. Like, I like that kind of vibe. And had it stuck to that, I would have really enjoyed it. But it didn't. It just like flip-flopped between all these different stories, but not really telling them. Like, I thought it would go more into detail of like all the different guys throughout the years and explain like where the notes came from. Nothing, nada, whatever. And then halfway through the book, truthfully, it just like started becoming a completely different book that had to do with her health and not really even about, you know, the expiration dates. And so, like, I don't know. I just, overall, I was pretty disappointed in this, especially because I really liked 5 Years Later by her. And so I was a little disappointed in this one. I just thought, like, the concept was cool. The execution wasn't there for me. Have you guys read this book? What did you think of it? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Totally okay if you do. That's just like my vibe on the book. I don't know. I was a little sad about it. Okay, the next book I read was Meet the Newmans by Jennifer Niven. This is also first time reading her books. This is her latest book. I think it just came out in 2026. And I actually just picked it up because I thought the cover was so cool. And I was just in a little local bookshop in Stratford, Ontario. And I always like to go see this bookstore every time I go to that town. And of course, so I had to pick up a book. And this one really caught my eye. Going in blind, totally fine. It's, you know, it's 1960s housewife type of thing. This one follows the Newmans. You got Del and Dina, and then Guy and Shep, who are the sons. And Dina is like supposedly your typical housewife, but they are interesting because they are on a TV show called Meet the Newmans. And so Dina portrays this woman that, you know, has it all. She's got these boys, a lovely husband. She keeps house. She's a great cook. She does all the cleaning. Well, the reality is that her real life is completely not like that. She does none of those things. And basically, her husband ends up getting into this accident that sends them all kind of spiraling and having to pick up the pieces, because he's done the show for years and years and years, and the show is in jeopardy now because, you know, it's the 60s and it's kind of outdated, and we're trying to move forward and do all these other cool things and move past some of these like more constricting views, I guess. And so overall, the book was really interesting, and you see Dina like really become her own person and grow as a character. I gave this book a 3.5 stars. I wanted to give it a 4, but truthfully, I felt like it didn't need to be this long. How long was it? It was, let's see, it's like 400 pages, I guess. But truthfully, there's like a good chunk in there that was like, I don't know if we needed all of this extra detail. Could have maybe told it in a different way, or, you know, taken some of that out. So it felt a little bit long for me. But overall, I thought the characters were interesting. And, you know, anything based in 1950s, 1960s, I love that kind of vibe. I just think it's so interesting. And, you know, I love seeing women being empowered and empowering each other. So all about that. Overall, definitely would recommend reading this one. I think it's worth it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts if you ever do. Leave me a comment below if you are interested in reading this or if you have. Okay, now the book that saved it all for me, because truthfully, this month was not my best reading month. I also sadly don't have any audiobook updates for you guys because I didn't really listen to any. I listened to some books at nighttime, and I'm currently going through the Shadowhunter series, and so I don't usually talk about it on this channel just because I listen to it before bed. But anyway, some of those books are really long, and I've had to like catch up on them because my Libby only get 21 days, so that's part of the reason. And I don't know, I just haven't had time for audiobooks this month, which is such a bummer. But May is gonna be better because I already got a couple lined up, and I think we'll get out of that like audiobook slump. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, let's talk about the book that saved all of April reading for me. And of course, that was Saving Six by Chloe Walsh, which is book 3 of The Boys of Tommen, which if you haven't heard of Binding 13, that's like the main one in the series. And you have the first 2 books that are about Shannon Lynch, and then this book is about Joey Lynch, the older brother who saves the day, but they have such a rough life. And these books, like, let me tell you, they just read almost like they're based in early 2000s, so they kind of read like, you know, a teen drama almost, but like multiply that by like really hard times and sadness and just like a true love also. I don't know, there's just some sort of crack in these books for me that I eat them up. So I'm really glad that I did add this onto the April TBR, because clearly I needed it, because the rest of the books just like didn't really do it for me this month. And also like learning Joey's story, and I'm not going to go too much into it because it does coincide with Binding 13, which I don't want to ruin any spoilers there, but this is basically Joey's POV and what's going on in his life versus Shannon, his little sister, and the Lynch family and all the trauma and drama that kind of is involved with their sad home life. And trigger warning for this book, some of this is hard to read because of how dark it is and how upsetting, and there's child abuse and neglect and just a whole lot of things that these characters are dealing with. So overall, genuinely thankful for Chloe Walsh, because otherwise, like, this month was just like not it for reading. And now it's sending me into May, which I'm going to read the second one in the Joey, because there's 6 books in total, so I'll read the second one, which is another book with Joey, at the start of May, just to keep the vibes going. But overall, genuinely love these books. I would definitely give Binding 13 a read first if you are interested in this series. You don't necessarily have to read it first, but it will make a lot more sense, and Joey will make more sense to you if you do read them in order. Okay, so overall, April was kind of middle of the road reading for me, and that's kind of sad, but that is also life, and that happens. And as readers, again, we're always trying to get away from those reading slumps, so hopefully this will continue to keep me out of it. I have already made some good choices for my May TBR, which the video's already out. So if you want to check out what I'm reading in May, you can go ahead and do that. Let me know what you're reading in May. I'd love to know what kind of books we got going on, or any books that I should be adding to my own TBR, because I want to make it longer, not smaller. And as always, I love you guys so much. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It goes such a long way for me, and I'll love you forever. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful month. Bye.